program is about engaging with children on a mass participation level. We use tag rugby to do that. It's a fantastic sport, a lot of fun, fast moving, and importantly it engages boys and girls playing together, which is quite unique really, particularly in primary schools. You know, if you go into a playground at break time, you'll see the boys over here and the girls over there. But our program and our sport, tag rugby, brings them together really nicely.
It's an initiative that the Trust came up with to try and help, especially in the communities, adolescent people, to give them a bit of life skills and give them a bit of direction. In the communities, we're not doing it how we do in the private setup, where we get them to fundraise for themselves. That is more a life school orientated program. This runs them through a basic crash course of the Young Leader program, the TAG program, all of our courses. There, we run them through our courses, but we also try and aid them and help them benefit themselves and build up a personal CV that they can now take forward to potential employees and get jobs from it. So it is more of a life skills orientated setup in the less privileged areas.
We are typically introducing this sport and it's new to the children. And so, whilst it's early days at the moment, from an engagement point of view, we have thousands of children playing this game, and we know that some of the outcomes from that will be that they will move on to play senior level rugby. So whilst that's not necessarily our target, it's a really nice outcome that results from our program.
We have had many good reports from a teacher's perspective. Because our sport is girls and boys, it breaks down social barriers between boys and girls. You usually find that at young ages, the ages we deal with, the boys and girls don't really interact. And that interaction has improved because they're now playing a sport where they're dependent on each other. We've had parents who have come to us and said, thank you for your program, because part of our program is making clubs which run on the weekends. So the children can come to the clubs during the weekends as opposed to do any other thing they would have done. But it gives the parents a safe haven, knowing that my child is doing tag rugby with the teachers and volunteers who work in these places.
One of the key elements to our program, Educate, Engage and Impact, is community work, and our community work is one of our unique elements to the TAG model as a whole, where we bring a community club together and we try and educate them on some of the challenges that they face within their community and make them aware of what is going on in their surroundings. So the community project work that we do with our children it works in three pieces. So the first piece is identifying with our children that the importance of looking after themselves within their communities. The second piece is identifying a project that will benefit them in the long run, as well as the community. And the third piece is doing the project and getting them involved, getting the community involved. And at the end of the day, all of our projects are based and centered around trying to benefit the community as a whole, using tag rugby to achieve that. Their response has been excellent, and they really are at the forefront of what we're trying to do. Initiatives such as pothole filling in areas, tree planting, it really helps our community, and it's been amazing to see some of the works that some of these communities have come up with themselves and the initiatives they have come up with, and it's growing rapidly. The projects are diversifying tremendously from when we first started, and it's an all-round effort to try and get the community to look after themselves, empowering them to be able to try and help out. And with tag rugby being such a vital vehicle for that, we hope that with these projects the communities continue to buy into these initiatives that we're achieving.
Mosquito, kill it. Right, in pitch 1, we are going to have sharks versus leopards, then scorpions versus stormers. Those are the teams that are going to play the first games.
For us to be able to run a mass participation program, with thousands of children in some of the key towns and cities in Zimbabwe, we need a really good team of volunteers to run those programs. We source those volunteers predominantly from teachers in the schools, because that's where the children are Monday to Friday, but also from young leaders in secondary schools and from non-teacher adult volunteers in the community. Some of them can be rugby players, ex-rugby players, but we appeal to a whole range of other people who just are interested in programs for children.
They are small kids. Okay.
So the beauty of tag rugby is that when it comes to the adults who get involved in the program, they don't necessarily play, although in the future we'd like them to play, but they get involved in our accreditation program. And our accreditation program involves coaching, refereeing, tournament organizing, media and journalism, and also becoming educators, and we're going to incorporate first aid as well. So there's also something for the adults, and we run these courses free of charge for anyone who wants to get involved. You don't have to have previous experience of rugby or previous qualifications, because our courses are all fun, friendly, and anyone can get involved in them.
Our Educate piece has quite a lot of breadth to it in terms of the skills that we make available to people to take on board, but it also has depth in that we have level 1s and level 2s and people who, when they show an interest in the program, when they demonstrate they're committed and reliable, we'll invest in them. We'll help them become maybe even coach educators for us. People that we can say, there's a program that we need to run in a new area, in Masvingo for example, and we need someone to go down there and run our courses for us. So the more that we invest in the skills of those volunteers, the better and the more capacity we have to grow our mass participation engagement element of what we do.
Our strapline is building futures through rugby. And obviously, you can see from the kids' perspective, some of them will graduate and become superstars in rugby. We know that's a product. But what happens to those coaches, those teachers, those volunteers who get in our program? They're all volunteers. So the work experience is an opportunity, engaging our sponsors, to get them, if they're not working, if they're still waiting, or if they're waiting between jobs, for them to get some experience in a full corporate company in any segment which the corporate allows. So it gives them some time working, and then they'll get, you can call it an attachment, which we offer through our sponsors.
We've had Zapnax, who are a sponsor of ours. They've taken in their first 2 interns, and immediately they finished, one of them was given a job straight away.
Ever since I started working as an accountant, it has been great, and I owe it to the work experience from Tag Rugby, who gave me the opportunity to work as a creditors clerk at BFC. Okay. Tag Rugby work experience program has helped me in a lot of ways. First, I learned about teamwork when I was doing the actual Tag Rugby stuff. Back when we were doing the programs, the coaching clinics, and also taught me how to work with other people. That's teamwork, right? And how to work in any environment we can experience.
We were approached by the Tag Rugby team to take on a couple of guys. They have hundreds of coaches out there who give of their time every weekend for no compensation, and most of them are young guys who have no work experience. So to get involved with a large company, National Foods or ourselves, and to get that experience of working there, that on your resume gives them a huge chance in life going forward. So we started with the initial pilot project. We took on 2 guys. We took them on for 8 weeks. They worked in my factory for 4 weeks. They learned all about the manufacturing processes, how to run storerooms, and then they worked on the distribution side in the warehouse. And they learned loading of trucks, scheduling of loads, and at the end, they impressed everybody a huge amount. So much so that we actually took one of them on as a permanent employee.
We're always looking in the corporate world for sponsorship, or any well-wishers, or anyone who wants to get involved in the program. As a charity we don't make any money from our program, so we always have to look funding for them.
The reason why Old Mutual is specifically excited about involvement in rugby is that we realize that there is so much passion that comes with rugby, especially amongst the participants themselves as well as the general public. It's a sport that we felt was developing and growing very fast in this market. Traditionally, markets such as Zimbabwe are very passionate about soccer, but rugby is almost like the new thing that has come into communities. So our involvement really was aimed at ensuring that our communities, some people who are less fortunate, have access to this game. That has also grown, internationally. Lots of people are making careers and making a lot of money out of rugby. So that's another option for our communities to also ensure that the kids there are exposed to the game and that they improve on the game, and then they also get an equal opportunity to make a career out of it.
Behind the banners.
Our future plans is to try get into all the provinces, and once we're in all the provinces, our influence will be greater, and we believe that it's a good sport to introduce in all these schools. So initially our short-term goal is probably to get into all the provinces as far wide as possible. In terms of our coaches and our volunteers, is to continue to provide opportunities for them when they get involved in our program, either in work experience or eventual getting jobs through our program. So we're really looking forward to what the future holds for tag rugby.